Hello, guys. Welcome into the Starcast Sticker Mark Studios. My name is Ryan. I'm one of three Chambers brothers of the Starcast Sticker Marks podcast. We are the only fan-led Dallas Stars podcast here on the Hockey Podcast Network. Please go and use the promo code THPN on the DraftKings app the next time you go and use their app for a special little offer from them. And it also lets them know that we're the ones that sent you. And we appreciate that little bit of support that you give for them so that they support us and we're able to do the stuff that we are on this show. So without further ado, it's been a while, guys. I don't think all three of us have been on an episode in quite a while. How are y'all doing?
Great, because James is busy. We've had no stats for the past 3 weeks. There's been zero stats.
I mean, I work during the night, so what can I say?
Yeah, you and your job. Job's not important.
Gross.
Podcast is way more important, but whatever.
All right, moving on. GG, boys.
Yeah, seriously. So, anyways, after the doom and gloom game that we just witnessed against the Arizona Coyotes, I wouldn't say this was a great game for the Stars, but it was good enough. Do y'all feel that?
I would call it good. It was a good game.
Okay. All right. What was some of y'all's biggest observations, just real quick, coming out of this game tonight?
Well, I like starting with the negative. So the number one negative is the power play was terrible. Goodness. Like, not even just didn't produce, but looked bad. Like, the whole game. Dislike.
James, what did you think? Was it the power play for you tonight, or was there something else that stood out for you?
They're just saving the power play for tomorrow, okay? I swear. They're saving it for tomorrow.
That's the team we score against too. That's the team we score
exactly.
Against.
Oh, it was just last year in the first game of the season where we went like 5 for 7 on the power play. I would hardly say that's the team that we score our goals against. But whatever, But anyways, guys, for me, this game kind of chalks down to several little things, right? It for me, it was just good enough. It was just good enough. And you know what? Against the Winnipeg Jets, who are a fringe playoff team at best, it seems, but their playoff hopes are pretty much decimated over the past couple of weeks. It was good enough for the Stars, and that's exactly what we needed. We just need good enough at this point to try and get ourselves into the playoffs. I have publicly said that I don't think we'll make it into the playoffs, but I really hope they start proving me wrong with some of these games. So, Chris and you and I kind of talked a little bit against the Arizona game that we hope that we don't look in the rearview mirror and look at these 14 points against those games that we mentioned. And, if only, hopefully we're not looking and thinking that way at the end of the season.
Well, this next game is a good chance to steal those back. You look at a back-to-back game, you don't expect to win both of them, honestly. So let's go out and do what we have to do since we didn't take care of business the other night. So, and I agree with James. Our power play is good in general. So we know that the 0 for 5 is not really going to be a sustainable thing. So hopefully on the flight, they can look over some film, see what they did wrong, and they'll figure it out. And they'll take care of business tomorrow, hopefully on the power play, and play a solid 4-line game, because tonight was not 4 lines for sure.
And one of the things that frustrated me about tonight's game was the fact that we didn't really play a particular style that suits our team. If I'm being totally honest, like typically we're a more shut down, take advantage of our opportunities kind of team and let the first line do their thing. And that wasn't the case tonight. Thankfully, it was the second line tonight. Actually, it was Ben Sagan and Gurianov who took care of all the offense tonight, which is absolutely excellent to see. But what I did not like to see was all of the turnovers. It was a very much north and south game. There wasn't much forecheck, which I thought there was going to be a lot more of, considering both of these teams can be very physical, and we didn't really see that tonight.
Well, I think the Stars controlled the majority of the game, like except for the first 10 minutes of the first period. The Stars were in control the whole time. And against the Jets, I don't think we want to play a forecheck game, honestly. The Jets are a big team with heavy bodies, obviously, and like they're bigger than us. So if we try and go just physical on physical, we're going to get beat by a team like that. So I like the way the Stars adjusted to that. I think they held the puck more a lot, which I liked. Part of that was because they were on the power play a lot. but I liked controlling the puck more and skating it into the zone and using our speed. We used our speed a lot, especially Gurionov and Hintz, and even Ben skated around.
I was about to say that. I was like,
lots of speed from the Stars tonight, which I enjoyed.
Yeah, and it was good to see. It was there's I can't remember which power play it was, but there was one chance during the power play where Ben had the puck, and it looked like he was going to do the stupid draw pass thing. Don't he?
Oh, did we lose Ryan?
Yeah, we lost Ryan.
Okay, we lost Ryan. Anyway, he was talking about drop passes in the power play or something. Anyway, we both know the power play sucked. Get him out of here. Get him out of here, James. Can you get rid of him?
He'll come back, I promise.
Okay, he'll come back. Anyway, power play was bad. Y'all get it. Moving on from that, the penalty kill was not great either. I mean, obviously that's how the Jets get their only legit.
Well, you're looking at the you're looking at the penalty kill though. We have a shorty on it, and the one that they scored was off of Ben getting hit in the face.
True, but I don't know. I just didn't love the way that they played it. I mean, I feel like it was super tentative again. And when the penalty kills finally started to get going again, it was the aggressive box form. They were pushing out, attacking whenever there was the fumbles of the puck. It really didn't feel like that was happening tonight. So that was a little bit annoying. But you're also right. I'm kind of skewed by the stats, I think.
And that was one of the things that they were talking about on the broadcast was the Jets power play. They kind of sit still when they pass when they're on their power play. They don't move around as much as other teams. So it's hard to get aggressive on those teams when you don't even see movement around. You're just trying to keep them to one side anyway. So
yeah. One more thing that I wanted to get in. I don't know what Ryan had planned, but Ryan's back. Hey, it's Ryan.
I hate my internet. Internet sucks.
All right, Ryan. It's too late. I've already started going into the next topic. The next topic is Otter. Otter was great again.
Go for it. You can be the new host for today. How about that? Since my internet is the weakest. Brandon,
you can take it on the goal.
Ryan, you are the weakest Wi-Fi. Goodbye.
Oh my god, I love that game show. That was the best.
I love that game show.
Okay.
The weakest link.
Anyway, Otter was fantastic again. He only made 20 saves tonight, which didn't feel like a lot, but there was a ton of grade A chances that the Jets had that he just stoned them on, and just his demeanor throughout the game was so confident. Every big play that they had, he just turned it aside like it was nothing. Like he really feels just so confident right now. Like he feels like he's the best goalie in the world.
He's the reason why we've been doing so good against these division
That's
opponents.
Probably the previous 4 games, excluding this one, in my opinion, we have not played good enough to win any of those games, and we went 500. So I'm pretty happy with that, and that's pretty much only due to Otter. Like if that doesn't happen, we're talking about sell. Let's get in front of the wave on the trade deadline. There we go.
Yeah, words are hard.
So, yeah, I just had to start saying it. But he's kind of kept us in this for now, and hopefully we can get our offense rolling again. And I mean, we kind of figured it out at the end of the game, I guess. But I mean, still 2 goals on, what was it, 35 shots? You got to find some twine more. No, it was 40 shots. Oh, yeah. Overtime.
Yep. So, all right. So anyways, I do want to get into the goal summary real quick. But first, I want to talk about the first period more because one of the other frustrating things, and I keep talking negative. I don't know why. The Stars won. But if we are going to make the playoffs and we are going to play teams like, okay, St. Louis or Colorado, we need to play better than this. And this is not going to be enough. And one of the things that frustrated me more is that this team is below us. We know that we have to have this game. We have to have this game. And so do they. And we know they're going to come out with a bunch of urgency. And they let the Jets kind of walk over them a little bit in the first 10 minutes of the first period. It wasn't as bad as the Colorado game, nowhere near as bad as the Colorado game.
Because the Jets aren't as good.
Right, exactly. But they still allowed the Jets to get the first goal of the game, and that was from Blake Wheeler, who has been on a freaking hot streak. The guy is like 36 and all of a sudden figured out how to play hockey again.
He looked great.
And he gets his goal from Pionk and Scheifele, and that was about 7 minutes and 14 seconds into the first period. And then after that particular goal, then the Stars finally started to pick up and start skating. And that's when I finally started noticing, okay, they're really starting to put chances on. They're really starting to get their legs going. But it almost seems like this team is not proactive, but reactive, if that makes any sense.
That's definitely true. 100% agree with you on that one. I'm at a loss to why this is the only way they can get going is something bad has to happen to them first. But I guess at least for now, that's the way it is. It's got to change. But moving on past that, the next 10 minutes was the Connor Hellebuck show.
Yeah,
that was insane. That was one of the best goalie performances in 10 minutes that we've seen all season, almost.
And if anybody doubts why Connor Hellebuck, is one of the greatest goalies in the world and why he won the Vezina, I think he's at least won it once. I don't know if he's won it twice, but he's definitely one of the elite goaltenders in the NHL, and especially playing for Winnipeg, a smaller Canadian market. Yes, it's Canadian, but still it's a small Canadian market. He doesn't get the accolades that he deserves. He's just absolutely fantastic. And, just quick little side note. I actually didn't know this until I moved out here to West Texas where I live. But Connor Hellebuck actually played for the Odessa Jackalopes here in Texas. I would have never known that.
It's a coolest thing franchise, the Jackalopes.
Anyways, sorry, go ahead with whatever y'all were going to say. Go for it.
Hellebuck is most of the time the reason why the Jets live or die. Like he's either completely shut out and wins the game for them, or he just is like barely not good enough for them to win.
He is their best player, hands down, no doubt.
And he was definitely good enough for the Jets to win tonight. But luckily the Stars got going earlier than just the third period, and they wore him down and won this game. And that was the thing that I meant to mention in the beginning too, is that this game is eerily similar to the Arizona game, except the Stars just got started sooner. So if the Stars get started in the first period like they did this game against Arizona, we win by 3 goals. I mean, that's really what it is. I mean, this team after the first 10 minutes was a great team outside of power play. So if they actually played decent on the power play and they played this way, then they're a great hockey team that can beat anybody, really. So they just need to find a way, like you said, Ryan, to get this from puck drop and not wait and be reactive and wait for something to happen.
And I did want to mention real quick that the first power play actually looked really decent. The first power play here in the first period, and it was I think it was Blake Wheeler tripped Esa Lindell, and it was a really good power play, and we got some momentum off of that, and you could see that. But from that point on, the power, especially that double minor, when we could have used some momentum,
zone,
and we just couldn't get it. And that it was not very good. So let's just go ahead and get into the second period since we're already there now. But in the second period, right off the bat, within the first minute, Joe Pavelski takes a high stick from Josh Morrissey, and that looked like that hurt. Ow! Yep. And it does end up being a double minor. So 4 minutes on the power play, and let's go ahead and talk about that double minor that we saw, because it was not good. There were too many passes. They kept doing the same thing, and then they were being predictable to the point to where the Winnipeg Jets would just like cut off the pass and it'd just go down it'd go down into our zone, and that would be it. So what did y'all see on that? Why was it so bad?
Well, the Stars kept doing the same 3 entries over and over again, and like it was pretty obvious what was coming. But the Jets were really standing firm on the blue line too, and when that happens, like that's a good time to dump and chase. Like dump it behind them and get after them. But that's the issue, is the Jets are very good at defending against the forecheck, and they're big bodies. But you got to have somebody to, like a Jamie Benn, to shake them up. So I don't know. It just felt very, like you like to say, Ryan, it wasn't very creative trying to get into the zone. It was just stick to your set stuff. Don't try and look for weaknesses. So it wasn't very nice.
And one of the other, sorry, James, go ahead.
That's really all I thought about it too. It's just very, the way I would put it is uninspired. Just
uninspired. That's inspired.
Thank you.
The uninspired comment is inspired.
Yeah.
Well, before I cut off James, I was gonna say that, and maybe this is just me and what I'm feeling, what I'm noticing. Maybe it's not a real thing, but it seems like that the teams that we play against, when we don't do well on the power play, seem to be like bottom third of the league. Because this is statistically over the course of the season, Winnipeg does not have a good penalty kill. Excuse me. I believe they're 27th out of 32 in the NHL. 27th. And the Stars did absolutely nothing with 5. They had, now maybe 4.5, because one of them was a abbreviated one. Okay, so 4 real ones and then a minute and 12 seconds of another. But still, they did nothing with any of their power plays that they had tonight.
Yeah.
And
I'll give the Jets something. I mean, they look good on the penalty kill. The Stars didn't look good on the power play, but the Jets did their job on the penalty kill as well. I mean, they were going after pucks. They were winning puck battles. So I'll give them some credit too. But yeah, I don't know what it is about the Stars against bad teams and bad, I guess, areas of the game that they always play down to them, I guess is what it is.
So, and then, after that high sticking double minor from Josh Morrissey on Joe Pavelski, it was just trip to the box night for during the
whistle
period.
Party.
There was John Klingberg.
I'm gonna get into it now. The officiating was awful. It was terrible.
I knew this was coming.
2 one-handed hooks. Like the Foxa one was atrocious. I can understand kind of the Raffle one. Like, if you're gonna call one-handed hook, I guess you can call that one. Foxa was just playing defense. He was just defending. Well, I mean,
I don't know about that one.
Raffle waxed a stick in half. Just
don't call that one. Yeah,
the hammer on the stick. Like
that was hilarious.
Weird bat, slammed it down. Nothing. Then the Jets take it the other way. No, what was it? I don't know.
No, we took it the other way. And Glenn Denning drew a call.
And then they call that one. Not 30 seconds later. Like,
right.
And then I didn't even mention it. The high sticking call on Ben, of course, but we'll get into that later.
Well, let's go ahead and mention it because and this jumped into the third period a little bit, but we're talking about it anyways. That should have been called 100%. I don't care if it was an accident. It states in the rule book you must be in control of your stick at all times.
No, it's obviously not that they thought it was legal. It's just that they're idiots who don't know how to use their freaking eyeballs. It's in the middle of the ice. You should be looking nowhere else. It was on the puck. How do you miss it? There's no way you can miss it.
That's rude, Ryan. Blind.
I am filing a report.
Go for it.
I don't know what kind of report.
We might have to delete the vote on that one.
Oh man,
but that's just atrocious. The officiating all night. I've talked about the officiating multiple times throughout the year, and tonight was just another example in how terrible it was. Not even just like, okay, we got the majority of power plays. That's not the reason the game was so close. We sucked on the power play.
We did,
but that doesn't change the fact that the officials sucked.
Well, but when you really think about it, it was kind of even because one of the power plays it wasn't a full power play. So that's,
okay,
that's
it's
4.
not even.
And then the other was a double minor. So
it's not even when the non-call is a free goal. Like it's a 5-on-3 because our player just got hit in the face with the carbon fiber super science stick.
Yeah, and it was more like
he's not gonna be okay.
It has like
he's not fine
on his face too.
Do what?
He used a stick as like a scraper on his face too. It wasn't even like he just like hit him once.
Yeah, it was like
and drug all the way across his face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, no, Jamie, get up. You gotta be a manly man. This is hockey. No, if I hit you in the face with a super science stick, you're not gonna be okay, bro. Like, it's stupid.
Well, and what is it with the Dallas Stars and not getting those high sticking calls?
It's not the Stars, it's the refs.
Well, what I'm saying, they pointed it out earlier in the game. It was the Miro Heiskanen high stick that got missed that should have been called and wasn't.
But there's so much stuff all around the league, like the kicking. I know that's not the on ice refs, but kicking is just legal now. You're just allowed to kick the puck in the net. That's just a legal thing. It's cool. It's fine. Like slashing is now one-handed stick taps to the hands. What is that? Interference on the Colorado game? Picks are legal now? Like, what is happening?
Oh, don't even get me started about that. I could not stand all the picks that were happening in that Colorado game. I don't care. I don't care if we were getting destroyed. There were so many that I was hacked off about.
The officiating overall throughout the league is bad. It's inconsistent.
That was
Yeah,
the word
the
I was
consistent
thinking.
thing with the kick-
Inconsistent.
Well, the kicks is fully consistent. They just ignore the
It's
rule.
just allowed now.
It's
Just ignore the rule,
it's
buddy.
just
Just
not
go
a
for
rule.
it.
You can just kick it as much as you want. We might as well just start the ice soccer league right now. That's a thing. Look up that sport. It's crazy. Anyway, they suck. It's got to get better, and it's not going to this year.
Mhm. Well, I don't even know where we're at. Where are we at? We're
They
at the Jamie
scored
Ben
goal.
shorthanded goal. Okay, so anyway, going through the second period, because now we're jumping back in time to the second period. Jamie Ben gets a shorthanded goal, and who would have figured it was the opposite side of the special teams is what was going to get us going tonight. Jamie Ben gets his 13th of the year. Ropa Hintz his 21st assist of the season. 1-1 Dallas Stars going in to the second intermission. Oh my goodness, was that a huge goal. And from probably arguably the most important player to probably get that goal to get this game going.
Well, the player that the Jets hate the most, Jamie Ben, he is just
I love it.
a jet shoot downer. What are those called, James? Hit me with that.
Don't-
Anti-aircraft machine gun. Boom. It's kind of relevant right now, but we won't talk about that anyway.
No.
No, don't even start that.
Oh no.
Just had to say that. Oh
No,
gosh, Chris.
no.
Sorry. But yeah,
We are,
he's
this
so
is
good against
live
the
on the
Jets.
internet. You know that,
We're
right?
gonna have
So
to
good.
delete
He's
this
so good
episode.
against the Jets. What's Russia gonna do?
All right. Well, anyways, going into the second intermission, it is 1-1. Very big goal from Jamie Ben on that shorthanded chance. And in the third period, we've already kind of talked about it, but it was a power play goal from Mark Shifley that would make it 2-1 Winnipeg from Pionk and Kyle Connor. And that was the play we were talking about that that Tyler Seguin got, hacked up in the face and didn't get called. And then literally about 5-10 seconds later, the Jets score that goal. So, and we already talked about how hacked off we were about, oh my gosh, no pun intended. How hacked off we were about that. But going into the last couple of minutes here, the Stars are, they're starting to push here in the last 8-7 minutes.
Hard. Better than
And
they
they're
have
pushing
all
hard.
game.
But the thing is where is, and I'm being negative Nancy again, where is that kind of urgency at the beginning of the game? If you do that at the beginning of the game, then you don't have to act like this at the end of the game. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, I agree with that, but they were still playing well in the third period. It's not like they were playing bad.
Okay, yeah.
So-
And yes, I agree.
To kick into that extra gear that you have, like as an athlete, you can't just turn that on and off. Like that's someone's got to cause that to happen. Like either a big stage, like you're in the playoffs, or your captain gets hit in the face with a super science stick and they get a free goal. That's a good one.
That's the name of
So,
the episode. Super
some-
Science Stick.
Super.
Sometimes there's triggers that happen in an athlete's head that just makes you go to a different level, and that's not you can't just turn that on. That's not a thing you can just do.
Mhm.
So I'm fine with that, and I like the pushback that they got and the emotion that they got from that, because we talked about earlier in the season how when stuff like that would happen, there would be no pushback. There's no reaction, no emotion. So at least we're playing within the game, we're playing in the momentum, and we're creating our own momentum after something bad like that happens.
And because of that momentum, Dennis Garyanov, we get his first goal in 15 games. It's good to see him back on the goal side of the score sheet. And from Seguin and Ben, so it's that second line. Whether it's shorthanded or whatever, that get all the goals here tonight. It's that second line, those three guys, and
they were
it ties it 2-2.
So many chances, especially so Gurianov was my favorite player to watch tonight. Offensively, he was great all over the ice. I mean, I just knew if we were going to get that tying goal, Gurianov was going to be the one to do it. I mean, I just felt that in my heart because he was just flying all over the place. He ends the night with 4 shots on goal. I think that's only behind Jason Robertson, which if you watch the game, you understand
Oh my
that.
goodness.
Because
Yeah.
Jason Robertson had
That
so
poor
many
guy.
chances.
Yeah, real quick, talk about Jason Robertson. I felt so bad for him. He has had so many chances over the past couple of games, and he just can't seem to bury one to save his life.
It's just
ridiculous.
He's gonna score 3 tomorrow. It'll be no problem.
Fingers crossed.
Not an
Hat
issue.
trick.
All on the power play.
All on the power play.
Hat
Full
trick
circle.
Robertson on the power play.
But that's it's honestly a great thing to see. I mean, the first line pressured so much tonight. The first and the second line, I think, were even on like the amount of offensive pressure they had, but we're finally getting that scoring from the second line like we needed. And this is a huge game to show our great goaltending, our great second line now that we have the great pressure we can actually put on offense. There wasn't a lot of defensive hockey after the first period because we didn't have to. We were just going down the hill the whole time. If you can keep that up, like offense, if you're on offense the whole time, you don't have to play defense. So that was great. Of course, we need the first line to score. That's how we're going to live and die. But it's good to be getting the secondary scoring. That's how we're going to become a great team, is by that second line scoring goals.
Brandon saying Robo has a monkey on his back right now, but he'll figure it out. He definitely will. And we're calling it right now.
What is it? 4 games without a goal?
No, 2 games.
2 games without a goal. Monkey on his back.
All right, yeah, that's funny that we're saying that he has a monkey on his back, and it's only been 2 games. But one of the more outstanding statistics that was mentioned actually tonight in the game, I didn't even know this. I'm glad they said something. But in 15 of the last 17 home games the Stars have played, Jason Robertson has been on the score sheet. And then the 2 games he didn't, they were shut out. So if he's on the score sheet, they're normally winning. This has been the first time this season that Jason Robertson is not on the score sheet and they win a game without his help. Which is I guess is good, which is good news, I guess.
Did try.
Yeah. It is good news, honestly. It really is. It's good that we can win a game without needing that top line. I mean, we should get goals from that top line. I mean, they need to score. They need to score in the power play, obviously. But hopefully they were just saving it for tomorrow.
That's what we're going with.
Yeah, we'll go with that when we do this again tomorrow. So anyway, nothing else happens. So it's 2-2, and thank goodness the Jets are not able to score without their first line, kind of like the Stars normally are. And it goes to overtime for the 3rd time between these 2 teams. And, it goes on for a little while in the first minute. And then Seguin gets his 17th of the year from Jamie Benn, and it was a delayed win because it looked like it had been high-sticked. So that was the first thing they had to double-check. And then the second thing they had to double-check was to make sure that it crossed over the line. And it was very clear that it crossed over the line. It was super easy to see that. But it was really hard to see whether that Seguin's stick was below the crossbar or not. And honestly, if you ask me, I wasn't so sure that it wasn't. But nonetheless,
so
who cares? Yeah. Dallas gets the win tonight, 3-2 in overtime.
Well, and again, Ottinger didn't he make that huge save in overtime?
Save on.
He had one shot, but it was gigantic.
I think it was on Scheifele.
Unbelievable. He just looks so good. Like, I know I'm going to say it again. He only had 20 saves, but there were so many good ones in there, like highlight reel worthy saves. And I love it so much. I said at the start of the season that he needs to be our number 1. He's finally turning it into it. And someone said at the top of the episode that they really hope Otter is in tomorrow. 100% on board with that. You ride that hot hand until it goes cold, because we need the points now more than anything. We need the points now more than keeping Otter comfortable. So let's hope that Bones does the right thing and puts him back in.
Yeah, Eric was actually the one who said that Otter had a light night and he would like to see him again tomorrow. So thank you, Eric, for listening. Thank you, Brandon, for listening. Thank you guys for commenting in the chat box over there. It gives us some things to talk about just in case we forget some things, because every once in a while we do. But, okay, Morrissey. Okay, so Eric says it was Morrissey, not Mark Scheifele. Okay, so and let's go ahead and just talk about Otter for a second. And the fact that, Bones was really, really hesitant to put this guy and give him the reins as the number 1 goalie. But it seems like that he has fully 100% taken that mantle, and he's our new Marty Turco. He is our new Marty Turco. Would you all agree with that?
No, his play style is very different from Marty Turco, but he is our next starting goaltender. Yes, yeah. I agree.
What I mean is that he fulfills a role that this team really needs really well. Maybe I should have been more clear on that. He's not a puck mover at all. That's not his game, but he is very sound positionally, and he makes huge saves when we need it at the right times. Yep. And I mean that overtime was the absolute perfect example of that. And if Holtby's in net, maybe he makes that save, but with Otter, he's our security blanket right now. We feel very confident in the fact that he can make some huge saves, and he did that all again tonight.
And I was on this train earlier this season, especially when the goaltending wasn't going great, saying that they weren't the reason that we were winning games. And Otter is very much so the reason that we have won the last 3 games that we've won. He has been a huge reason, if not the only reason. I mean, obviously with a 0-0 win, he's going to be the only reason. So he's been outstanding. He's been the difference maker. He's been the best player on the Stars the past 5 games.
Well, I mean, think about it. The last 3 games that they've won, he's outdueled like huge competition. Colorado, the absolute best team in the NHL, I would argue, probably cup contenders.
Such a good team.
And then
such a good goalie.
I hate you, Chris. Other than Arizona, that's what I'm saying. And he outduels Marc-Andre Fleury. Marc-Andre Fleury, you know, future Hall of Famer first.
Yeah, it was a tie.
It's a tie. I guess it is a game, but that was a tie.
He made one more save than Marc-Andre Fleury did. There you go. How about that? And then he goes in tonight against, you know, another, you know, goaltender who's been around for a while, arguably, you know, top 5, top 10, whatever you want to put him. He's definitely top 10 for sure. But, you know, Connor Hellebuyck, and he outduels Connor Hellebuyck tonight.
Easy, Fleury, easy, Wedgwood, no chance. That guy's too good. He's got my Norris. I mean, I don't know about y'all. No, Vesna, sorry. Oh, no.
Westwood. Wedgwood for Vesna. I mean,
maybe Norris.
Oh, man. But anyway, it's just so nice to finally see Jake Oettinger, you know, realize his full potential. And he's playing out of his mind right now at the absolute right time when the Stars need him to. So, and I mean, you can't fault him for that game against Arizona. He only let in 2 goals. When your goalie only allows 2 goals, you better win the game. You should win the game. And that was absolutely not his fault whatsoever, in my opinion. But anything else we need to talk about tonight? I think we've hit a lot of things. I feel like I'm forgetting something.
There was just one player who I thought actually had a really, really rough night tonight. Was actually Miro. He had a lot of turnovers, and there were 2 times that he got passed through in the defensive zone that had huge setup chances for the Jets. And he had I think he had 7 shots on net or something, which is just crazy for him. Mm-hmm. But defensively, he had a pretty rough game from my standpoint, at least.
I would lump him into a group that I've been thinking about a lot, and it includes Seguin, Rads, and Ben as well. And we'll add Klingberg to that too. I mean, those guys, it just feels like they're gripping the stick way too hard. I mean, Seguin had a lot of plays tonight where it looks like he has great chances, and he just passes it away. That's not what Tyler Seguin does. He shoots, or it just bounces off his puck. Or bounces off the puck bounces off a stick.
The puck bounces off the puck.
Yeah, exactly. And that just doesn't happen to Seguin. He has sound, soft hands, and he shoots every chance he gets because he's a goal scorer. And just all those guys, I'm glad Ben and Seguin got those goals tonight, but it still felt like there were so many plays that they could have had better chances on that they just got slipped away. So I just think those guys need to take a deep breath, let it go, and just play hockey. Because
have fun.
Obviously, that second line is good. So we figured out the chemistry there. So just play hockey now. Y'all got it.
Yeah. So Eric here, James, he says, James, we don't ever knock Miro. ... But you're right.
Yeah,
someone had to say it.
We'll knock him now. He makes the monies now. We're allowed to mock him. Knock him, not mock. Never mind.
Man, words are hard for you, Chris. You're sounding like me tonight. That's weird. Normally, I'm the one that does all that. But anyways, so, actually, I'm glad you said something about Miro because I need to jump on this because this was some of my thoughts here tonight. And it's kind of a loaded topic, but I'm going to jump on Klingberg again. All right. But for the positive things he did tonight. Yeah, he was fantastic tonight. Now, and normally I kind of get onto him for the defensive side of the game, but he makes up for it for everything else that he does in the game. And, those are the things that I don't really notice as much. And, I've kind of grown to understand that, that those are I just notice the defensive plays more rather than the offensive plays he does. and all the transitional play that he does really well. But tonight he actually had a fantastic defensive game, and there were about 2 or 3 different times, and I can't tell you exactly, but there was a specific 2-on-1 that I'm thinking of where it was just him and the 2 guys. The pass went across, and he got his stick on the puck and knocked it out of the way to avoid it, getting any kind of high danger chance for the Jets. So I'm gonna jump off Klingberg even more, and he's doing way better. And it still makes me wonder if he's got something. He's got some sort of nagging injury. And I'll go back to that game that he missed. So is he just playing better because he got that one day off and he's feeling better, or is it something that's nagging him? What do y'all think?
I think the big thing is probably just the mental side of it still too. I mean, he hasn't
more than the physical.
He hasn't had to deal with any kind of free agency, nothing. I mean, he's been a Dallas Star his entire career. He's just signed the first contract we gave him, and now he realizes, hey, I got to get paid. Like, I mean, this is a lot of money, but over a long period of time, who knows? So,
I mean, you only really have a 15-year career if you're lucky in the NHL. So, and he needs to bank. He needs to make bank now because he's at his prime age.
So I can only imagine that that's a stressful situation because he doesn't want to leave Dallas, but he also needs to get money. So,
I mean,
and that'd be rough.
And that is a very good point, Chris, because I mean that can really mess with somebody's mind. And even if you're not thinking about it during the game, that's just hovering over you all the time. It's always there. And it would just be so nice to just get it out of the way. Either he's traded, or he makes some sort of signing that gets him like some sort of bridge deal, a 3 or 4.
We won the game. We don't talk about trades when we win. We only talk about selling when we lose.
All right, so now I got to ask this because the rumors of him going to Toronto are really starting to heat up, and the reason being is because Jake Muzzin of the Toronto Maple Leafs, they're basically their third best defenseman on that team, is going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks. So, I mean, even more so, it seems like that would be a good fit for John Klingberg if that's the desire for him and for the franchise moving forward. But I don't know how well y'all know enough about Toronto, but if that is the destination for John Klingberg before the trade deadline on March 21st, what do you get for him, knowing the circumstances around it? Knowing that, he's going to go in and he's going to have to immediately be a big-time player.
Let's calm down with the what do you get for him. First of all, everyone's getting traded to Toronto. That's what all Toronto media says all the time.
Yes.
Okay, that's partially true. But this
Second of all, I'm
sense.
talking right now, Mr. Host. Second of all, Jim Nill is so conservative. If he does sell, which I don't expect, and if he does sell, it wouldn't be a full sell. But if for some reason he does, it's going to be at the very last minute, so he knows as much information as he can, and it's not going to be right now, no matter how much Toronto offers.
Mm-hmm.
And third, we're getting at least a first-round pick. So
at the very least, agreed. Yeah. And, I would really like to see a first-round pick and Alexander Kerfoot at the very least, and plus something else, which would be nice. I really feel like with the way that Toronto is, and, they're trying to just get out of the first round and the pressure that's around that team, I think they could, probably, demand a king's ransom from the Toronto
They give
Maple
up
Leafs.
Kerfoot, they're stupid. That would be
How about this? How about that? And this is just for because it would be cool. First round pick, Kerfoot, Nick Robertson.
Yeah.
Nick Robertson.
I think
that
we might get
cool.
a first round and maybe Nick Robertson. No way they give us Kerfoot for a 30-game lease.
Depends.
No chance.
Depends. Well, anyway, so I just wanted to touch that before we call this quits here tonight. What else have we got tonight?
That's facts, Brandon.
That's right.
Oh,
put it up there, Ryan.
I gotta put
Yeah.
it up there. All right, for those of you listening on the podcast side, Brandon says the Toronto Maple Leafs are the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, that's so sad. So sad, but it's unfortunately true. It's a good thing that I'm more of a hockey fan than a football fan, but still. Anyways, guys, stats here for you here tonight. Face-off percentage, fairly low for the Stars. They still won tonight, but it was 52-48. Power play, we talked about that. 0 for 5 for the Stars, 1 for 3 for the Jets. Hits tonight, 15-12. Not an overly physical game tonight. Shots on goal per period for the game tonight, 15-10 in favor of the Stars in the first, 11-6 in the second in favor of the Stars, 12-5 in favor of the Stars, and then OT, it was 1 apiece. Final shots on goal tonight, 39-22 in favor of the Stars. And, honestly, I didn't feel like, we were like crazily out shooting the Winnipeg Jets tonight. And maybe that was just because they were getting a bunch of really good high danger chances, but that's just something I noticed. So, okay. We'll be back with you guys. Well, before I just do that, I'll open it up to you guys. Anything else that we need to talk about?
Russia sucks. They have small missiles. Their bears aren't that fuzzy.
Oh my goodness. And with that, we're going to cut this off here tonight. We are praying for the people of Ukraine here tonight, Christian. So hopefully everything is going okay over there. And then also I should point out, I should mention this as well. Rodion Amirov, who is a prospect for the Toronto Maple Leafs, actually just got diagnosed with a brain tumor. So we're also praying for him and hoping he's doing okay. He's a real young guy. He's only like, I believe he's like 19 or 20 years old, and he's got a brain tumor. So praying for him and hoping that he's going to do okay. But that's going to do it for us here tonight. Once again, please go and use the promo code THPN on the DraftKings app. Make sure you go and use their app and to get a special offer from them that lets them know we're the ones that sent you. We'd appreciate that. We thank them, DraftKings, for being our sponsor for our podcast, for our entire Hockey Podcast Network, along with Chris and James. I'm Ryan, and we will be back with you guys again tomorrow night. Game starts at 7, so we'll actually be 7:30. I thought it starts at 7.
I just looked and it said 7:30.
Ah, dang it, James. 7:30 tomorrow. So we'll be with you guys around about 10:15, 10:30 tomorrow. After the hockey game. So anyways, guys, we will catch you guys on the flip side, and we hope you guys have a fantastic, wonderful evening, morning, whenever you're listening to it. Good night,
boys.